Khadija, are you there?
Is my voice audible to you now?
Yes.
Could anyone give me a thumbs up or just open the mic and just say it if I'm audible? All right, thank you so much. So, Assalamu alaikum and a warm good evening, everyone. I'm Khadija, an English student at AMU, and your host for today's session. On the behalf of Aliga Renessa, I welcome you all for this interactive session where we will not just discuss the vision of Sir Syed Ahmad Khan, but also our roles and responsibilities as an Alig today. So, without further ado, let's begin the session. Firstly, I would like to invite Nashna Noor for the organization's introduction. Over to you, Nashna.
Assalamu alaikum. I extended a warm welcome to everyone joining us today for this insightful session organizing. Hello, I'm audible?
Yes, you're audible.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
I extended a warm welcome to everyone joining us today for this insightful session organized by the Aligarh Renaissance. The Aligarh Renaissance is a youth oriented non profit organization which is formed in 2014 and officially in 2017. They were inspired by the thought and philosophy of Sir Syed Ahmad Khan and founder of Aligarh Muslim University. Aligarh Renaissance is a distinguished NGO with a global footprint, boasting 7 international chapters in the USA, Netherlands, Canada, Italy, Qatar, UAE, and Saudi Arabia. In India, we have a strong presence in Aligarh, Agra, Bareilly, Delhi, and Pilibhit. Currently, Aligarh Renaissance have 8 international chapters and we have 800 members which are available in 65 districts. The Aligarh Renaissance registered under the Society Registration Act 1860 subsection 2. We are also recognized by several government bodies: Niti Aayog, Ministry of Education, Ministry of Tribal Affairs, Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment, etc. Being a member of this organization is a rewarding experience. The collaborative spirit fosters a positive environment for growth. Shared goals and mutual respect for strengthen our collective efforts. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nashra, for the introduction. And now it's time to talk about the purpose of this event, for which I'm inviting Sidra Rahat, a student of BCom Honors.
Assalamu alaikum. Event purpose. The purpose of our online interactive session is revising Sir Syed Ahmad Khan's vision. The role and responsibility of Aligs today aims to reflect on the legacy of Sir Syed Ahmad Khan and his vision for education, social reform, and national building. It seeks to inspire Aligs students, alumni, and well-wishers of Alig Muslim University to uphold his ideals in contemporary times, addressing the challenges and responsibilities they face in contributing to society. This gathering service serves as a call to action for Aligs worldwide to strengthen their commitment to Sir Syed's mission and work collectively towards a better future. Thank you.
Thanks, Sidra. Moving ahead, let me introduce the eminent speaker of today's session, Dr. Muhammad Muhibul Haq. So, we're honored to welcome Dr. Muhibul Haq, an esteemed academic and scholar, as a guest speaker for this online session. Dr. Haq is a professor in the Department of Political Science at Aligarh Muslim University. His expertise spans international politics, Indian polity, minority rights, terrorism, and political Islam interface. Being a prolific writer, he has contributed extensively through research papers, articles, and book chapters. He is also the author of the book International Terrorism and Violence, a Human Rights Perspective. Dr. Huck's contributions extend beyond academia. He has presented papers at national and international conferences and has actively participated in discussions as a panelist and expert on various media platforms. His excellence is reflected in his accolades, notably the President of India, Dr. Shankar Dayal Sharma Gold Medal for Excellence. He holds a PhD in political science from Aligarh Muslim University, where he was also a gold medalist in his master's program. We are privileged to have Dr. Muhibul Haq with us today to guide us in exploring Sir Syed Ahmad Khan's enduring vision and the responsibilities that Aligs carry forward. So please join me in welcoming him to share his valuable insights and experiences. Sir, the floor is yours, and over to you. Sir, your mic is off, I guess. That's why we're not able to hear you. I feel that he has disconnected due to internet issues. So let's just wait for a few minutes till he rejoin and then we'll proceed further. Thank you so much for your patience. Meanwhile, I request each one of you to please off your mic and to not share your screen or do any unnecessary activities. I would be really grateful for that. Actually, it's taking a while for the speaker to rejoin because of some internet issues or some or the other reason. But we could utilize this time to talk about Sir Syed because I feel that Sir Syed is a name, is a man that needs no introduction. And as a student of AMU, as a person, you know, who knows so, and who have heard so much about Sir Syed, we could definitely discuss his ideas, his vision, and not only like about his life and about his work, but most importantly his vision, the vision that inspires many of us today. And what are we doing to carry that light forward? And now, as we are the torch bearer, we are the face of that university, of the founder, like, the person who is known worldwide for his efforts, his work, his everything. So we could have a little bit of chit chat and discussions on that. So is there anyone who would like to express his views on the topic, or just share one or two experiences or anything that you would like to discuss or share with us? So you are mostly welcome and encouraged to speak on that. Because I think that we really don't need a script or a full-fledged note on Sir Syed, because this is something which we share as a common thing, and we could speak with our hearts, with our mind for on this topic.
Hello, Assalamu alaikum. Am I audible?
Yes, you're audible.
Yeah, my name is Samir Alwani. I'm currently pursuing BSc Honors in Physics from AMU, and it is my second year. So, as Khadija said, we'll be having just a little discussion regarding our founder, Sir Syed Ahmad Khan. So, what I feel is like the founder of our STEAM University founded this institution with great dreams and expectations from us that will be leading our ummah, our nations, to the upfronts, to the topmost levels of education and every domain of life. But what we see regarding our university is not quite I should say in level of or according to the expectations of our founder. Yeah, I guess we all can relate to that. Mm, if we see the rankings of our university, not comparable to India, but we have a good ranking in India. But if we see our rankings in the global university rankings, QS World rankings, then we are beyond 1000. That is not a good thing. And if we compare ourselves with same universities in India, IITs or ISCs, they are in top hundreds, even top 50, some of them. So it is not as if that there's some kind of bias that they are not taking Indian universities. It is just our unwillingness to work with honesty, with our full potential, that has brought us to the point that we are just just sort of unwillingly or not unwillingly or maybe I should say just doing what's bare minimum to keep running our university. And that is a I think it's a mutual thing for both from the management, from teachers, and as well as us students. So that's what I felt, and it can definitely be taken as a challenge, and we can definitely conquer this uh, I should say negative this negative part of our university. Uh, because hard work and uh, willingness to work and to bring our university at the top level are the keys, and we all can do that, I guess. And Aligarh Renaissance is a great thing. It is a great organization that has helped these students, that has brought these students apart from the academics, new levels and new opportunities to express themselves and to engage themselves in different sorts of activities, extracurricular activities and discussion forums, just like this one. So that's what I felt. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Samir, for expressing your views. And I couldn't agree more. I mean, whatever you have said is completely agreeable. As a student, I could feel that. And especially the line that the unwillingness to work with honesty, that is so apt and so true. Because I personally feel that as a student, sometimes we are attending classes, even not attending classes, we're doing it just for the sake of it, maybe just for the degree, but we're not putting that efforts which are required and which other students from other university do. We are doing just the bare minimum, and maybe it could be the reason that there's a lack of purpose. Because definitely there is not any lack of I would say, campus, the greenery, the lush green lawns of our university, the facilities, the infrastructure, we have everything. But the thing which we lack is confidence, is to work with honesty. And not only in a student, it's like, I would say a combined thing, which somewhere we feel that from administration to, from our professors to. So it's become a very common thing that take away from the purpose not to work for that. And that's why I have seen, and we all are seeing that, the ranking is um, uh,
आवाज नहीं आ रही है। कौन बोल रहा है? कुछ पता नहीं चल पा रहा है।
Sir, please wait for a few minutes. We will let you know.
डॉक्टर साहब अस्सलाम वालेकुम, मैं आफ्ताब बोल रहा हूँ।
जी आफ्ताब भाई, अस्सलाम वालेकुम।
जी, मैं प्रोग्राम में बड़ी मुश्किल से शामिल हो पाया। और
जी जी जी।
ये ऑडियो विजुअल है या सिर्फ ऑडियो है?
नहीं, दोनों ही हैं, लेकिन कुछ मुझे लग रहा है टेक्निकल स्नैग है कुछ।
जी अच्छा, जी अच्छा। तो मैं वॉच कर रहा हूँ, जब स्नैक दूर हो जाएगा तो आई एम हियर टू ज्वाइन।
Okay, Kamran, Ziauddin, you will like to speak? I am audible, Kamran? No.
Assalamu alaikum. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yes,
now
yes.
you're audible.
Just give me a minute. There's azan going on background, so just let that azan finish and then I'll take over. Just a minute.
And there's some kind of connectivity issue with the speaker. That's why it's taking a little bit of time. So thank you so much for having patience.
Hello, assalamu alaikum. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you very much. Let me quickly introduce myself, and before I do that, let me understand who is the audience here. I mean, who are the people who have joined this call? The only familiar name to me is Syed Shoaib Saab. Probably he's from Kanpur, and I'm with him on a
No, I'm
WhatsApp
from
group.
Lucknow.
Acha, you're from Lucknow.
I'm
Sorry,
from
Syed
Lucknow,
Syed
and
Saab.
I am heading Amoeba Lucknow since last year.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay, let me
Ahmad
quickly
Saab.
introduce myself so that everybody understands who's speaking. My name is Kamran Ziauddin. I come from Aligarh. I have done my graduation and MBA from Aligarh in 1991. That was a way back. I don't know if there are, because there are some students on this group. So I don't know if you would have come to this world in 1991, right? So uh, while I was in Aligarh, I was the university basketball captain. I was also the Gymkhana captain. I was the joint secretary, which is the captain of captains uh, in AMU, and I am also the color holder of in sports in AMU, which is supposed to be the highest laurel, highest award that is given to sports personnel in AMU, and I believe that tradition doesn't exist anymore. But uh, because of the legacy and because uh, of of the culture that we come from, we really value what Aligarh has given to us. Gentlemen, thank you very much. I just saw this uh, information about the Zoom call just a minute before the time. Our brother Abrar from Kanpur posted it on the Kanpur group. I wish I would have known earlier. I would have prepared myself better uh, and spoken better on this topic. I believe if these sessions are happening regularly, I would contribute more. Uh, okay, so I'll just start with where the discussion was going, so that everybody on this group and beyond this group, because if this group has a presence in 5 different countries and 800 odd people, you need to understand, first and foremost, you need to understand the Indian education landscape. Then you need to also understand the global landscape. Our brother Samir, who just spoke before me, uh, he gave out 2 statistics, and incidentally, both of those statistics were wrong. Uh, uh, I will just correct that. Not a problem. But thank you very much, Samir, for contributing. It was very brave of you. Yeah, keep that self motivation up all the time. Uh, First and foremost, what we need to understand is the Indian education landscape. The Indian education landscape is that the government of India education budget, which we all know is continuously decreasing at 2%, 2 to 4% every year, right? Now that budget is distributed to 53,000 plus institutions, colleges,
ये
universities
जब आज
across
गाड़ी
India.
है बताना.
भाई म्यूट कर लीजिए please. So what I was saying, I'll repeat. So the budget, Indian budget, education budget is distributed among 53,000 plus institution, colleges, and universities. Out of these 53,000 education institutions, colleges, and universities, about 152 institutions, colleges, and universities are supposed to be institutes of national importance, INI. They're called INI. And what are these institutes? These are institutes like IITs, IIMs, Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore, Indian Statistical Institute, Calcutta, AMU, BHU, uh, JNU, Delhi University, Jamia. I mean, these are the 5 universities. JIPMA, there are NITs, there are triple ITs. So, so all in all, 152 institutes, which are institutes of national importance, get 52% of the total budget. Out of the 100% budget of the government, 152 institutes get 52% of the budget, and the remaining 48% of the budget goes to the 53,000 plus institutes, colleges, and universities. Are you guys with me? I mean, it is very difficult to understand if you are hearing me. Yeah, because there are no faces and there are no voice messages. If you could just give me a
Am
tick.
I audible?
Yeah, we are hearing
Yeah.
you, sir. We are hearing
Oh,
you.
wonderful.
Okay.
And
So
you
Thank
are
you. I'm
speaking
very sorry.
very informative, yeah.
yeah, so if I can open the video, I have a few more minutes to speak, and then Muhibul Haq Saab, who is the speaker of this session, can take over. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
So the other thing that I want to talk about is the global space. In the global space, when you rank the top 1,000 universities in the world, AMU ranks over 650. It doesn't rank over 1,000, as Samir had said. It ranks over 650. The best institutes of India, which is the Indian Institute of Science, it ranks over 150. The IIMs rank over 350. So this is the ranking of yeah. While the ranking is a parameter to look into, but then there are other parameters which have to be internal within the university system to really make a change. I resonate with the feelings that the students had said about if I may use the word khana puri. So a lot of khana puri is what I understand happens in Aligarh these days. I mean, uh, reason I mean reason known best to you guys. Uh, there has to be a lot of interaction within the university system, because Renaissance,
Kamran sir, your
as a matter of
connection, I
fact,
think there is some
cannot
disturbance.
happen. Sorry.
There was some disturbance. You are not audible for, I think, 2 or 3 seconds.
Okay, so I'll just repeat. So I said Renaissance within
ये टकलू साहब दिखा कमरे बोल जाता रहे बहुत है ना
Please mute your mic.
so to bring
Yeah,
any
you
kind
can.
of renaissance or change can only come from within the organization. People like us, and especially me, who has for the last 3 decades worked on change management with corporate and the corporate world. I come from a 20 years of banking and consulting experience. I know if there is no desire to change within the organization, the change would not happen. So when I come back to Aligarh every year, the kind of deteriorations that I see is because I've been a sportsman, I hardly see sports happening in Aligarh. I see that the system of sports has gone bad. In the 30, 35, 40 years of the tenure of a teacher is never assessed. There's no appraisal system of a teacher. Once he's taken into the system, there's no appraisal system of the teacher. You cannot get rid of a teacher. If you have a bad teacher, you have to live with him for 35 to 40 years. Nowhere in the world this happens. No organization in the world this happens. Today, the discussion that I am having with the AMU fraternity everywhere is the fact that how do we select our vice chancellor, owing to the fact that the kind of vice chancellor that we have seen in the last 2 tenures, one going on, one previously. What is the mechanism of, and who are the people who select this vice chancellor, the vice chancellors? What is the qualification of the people who select the vice chancellor? Right? When is the
Sorry to interrupt you. Today we have interactive session on different topic, and we can cover this your concern and the session, inshallah. So, and we have limit
I
on
was just
program.
my friend, I was just filling in the gap because your speaker wasn't there. So I thought, because I came onto the forum, so I thought I'll speak my mind for a few minutes, because this group talks about Renaissance. See, the Renaissance. I'm just giving you the pointers on the fact that where would the Renaissance really happen, right? The Renaissance in the organization happens on the top. You have to put the top right first. Yeah. If you don't get the leader of your pack right through a right mechanism, no Renaissance is going to happen. When you had Sir Syed, he was on the top and he was driving the whole thing, right? If you want to drive your organization right in today's world, you need to have those kind of qualities first. That kind of a vision. You need to understand Sir Syed's vision, right? There is no system in the university who even teaches Sir Syed's for one lecture. Sir Syed's life is not taught in any of the course through one lecture. You if you are through this program, if you are continuing through a mechanism of listening to lectures of people, things will not bring a renaissance. Okay, if you're bringing in professors from the system itself and still listening to their lectures, you are doing the same thing. You have to bring in people who have seen the world and globally to tell you what is happening differently in the world, how renaissance are brought in. You understand my point? Thank you very much for the opportunity. I will not hold your program anymore. Take care. Assalamu alaikum.
Yeah, thank you so much. And as our speaker is here, so I would like to introduce a speaker so that people could know. And so we are honored to welcome Dr. Muhibul Haq, an esteemed academic and a scholar, as our guest speaker for this online session. Dr. Haq is a professor in the Department of Political Science at Aligarh Muslim University. His expertise spans international politics, Indian polity, Minority Rights, Terrorism, and Politics Islam Interface. Being a prolific writer, he has contributed extensively through research papers, articles, and book chapters. He is also the author of the book International Terrorism and Violence, a Human Rights Perspective. His excellence is reflected in his accolades, notably the President of India, Dr. Shankar Dayal Sharma Gold Medal for Excellence. So we're privileged to have Dr. Muhibul Haq with us today to guide us in exploring the much needed topic that is Sir Syed Ahmad Khan's enduring vision and responsibilities that Aligs carry forward. So please join me in welcoming him to share his valuable insights and experiences. So now over to you, sir. We are excited to listen to you.
So, Assalamu alaikum. Thank you very much. First of all, I would like to thank the Aligarh Renaissance for giving me this opportunity to interact with the participants. Most of them are students, I believe. And there are some colleagues, of course, they must be my seniors as well as those who are contemporaries. Today, the topic that has been given to me is revisiting Sir Syed's vision, the role and responsibility of Aligs today. First of all, I would also like to apologize, my sincere apologies for the delay because there was some technical hitch here. And because of that, I could not join on time. So I'll not take much of time in the pleasantries and all. Now I'm just moving forward to discuss the important issues, and I'll not take more than 20-25 minutes. I'll try to wind it up in 20-25 minutes so that we can have some discussion on this topic. And, I was just listening to one of the seniors who was just speaking right now, and he was critically evaluating Aligarh and what is Aligarh Muslim University. I'm very happy to see this, concern of the Aligs all over the world with their alma mater. So what has happened, you see these days that Sir Syed's vision, which is reflected in the Aligarh movement, is sometimes projected only as an educational movement. There are people who say that Sir Syed Ahmad Khan wanted to educate Muslims and he wanted that Muslims should stay away from all other activities. They should concentrate on education, making a point that as if education is the end in itself. We know that education cannot be an end in itself because there are many other issues that are to be also taken up. So therefore, the one narrow understanding of the Aligarh movement is that it was only an educational movement. And that's why today also you'll find that the people will say that students, teachers, they all should concentrate on education, and that much is enough. On the other hand, there are others who always contest, this particular narrow understanding of the Aligarh movement. And those who contest, you'll find there are great scholars who say that the Aligarh movement was not only an educational project. And therefore, other dimensions of the Aligarh movement should be also understood. Keeping in view the paucity of time, I will quickly move to, first of all, what do we mean by Aligarh movement? First of all, you'll find that the Muslims were prisoners of past. That has been happening with the Muslims all over the world, that they were living in the past glory, and an ostrich-like, behavior was there among the Muslims. So Sir Syed Ahmad Khan should be given credit for liberating Muslims from what is called the prison that was called the, Muslims were the prisoners of past. And therefore, Sir Syed Ahmad Khan motivated them to liberate themselves. And ultimately, you'll find what happened that, he wanted to develop scientific tempo. Ghazipur Scientific Society and all, I will not discuss because you all are Aligs. You all know that how he tried to develop scientific tempo, rational thinking, and then also persuaded Muslims to acquire modern education. Of course, that was Western education. As you all know, at that time, what was the behavior of the community? That the intellectuals, the scholars, ulama, they all were, not ready to accept anything that was British in nature or European in nature. So much so, you'll find that Akbar al-Abadi, who was a famous poet at that time, he was not ready to accept even the good things that were introduced by the colonial masters at that time. for example, water supply system or typewriter and all. So that's why he wrote that पानी पीना पड़ा है पाइप का और हर्फ पढ़ना पड़ा है टाइप का. पानी पीना पड़ा है पाइप का, हर्फ पढ़ना पड़ा है टाइप का. You can understand, you see, this was the behavior. That even the good things that were introduced by the British government at that time, that was not liked by the Muslim community, and they were critical of this. Means they were not ready to accept anything that was new. So that conservative outlook, that was responsible for the decline of the Muslim community. There was a kind of a stagnation of all kinds, economic, political, intellectual, all kind of a stagnation. So that's why Sir Syed Ahmad Khan encouraged them. Rather, in many cases, you will find he provoked Muslims for churning, for debate, for deliberations and all. And because of that, you will find, you see that the Aligarh movement became a great movement. And it is rightly said that this was a movement for the renaissance of Indian Muslims. So Sir Syed Ahmad Khan has been called as the Renaissance man of Muslims in India. There are, when we are trying to revisit, the word revisit is very important. So that's why I will not highlight, what was the Sir Syed's, vision of the Muslim community at that time. Why do we need to revisit? That is the question. And when, this topic has been assigned to me, that revisiting Sir Syed's vision, first of all, we should know that Sir Syed Ahmad Khan was a person who never compromised with the interest of the community. He went for the defense of Urdu. He talked about the political empowerment of the Muslim community. He was also a person who tried to develop interfaith understanding with the Jews and the Christians. He was a person who can be called as the pioneer of interfaith dialogue. Also, you'll find that Sir Syed Ahmad Khan also tried to develop good relations with the Hindu community in India. And that's why you will find that the Hindu-Muslim unity that was also there in his mind, and he tried to develop that. From there, from this perspective, you should also remember that his famous speech in the Governor General, Legislative Council, when he said that the local self-government bill, that was introduced, Sir Syed Ahmad Khan moved an amendment, and he said that if the simple democratic process, it means that if the voting system is there, and on the basis of that voting means simple voting system without having any kind of preferential treatment for the minorities or other communities who are less in number, what will happen, that our democracy will not be a true democracy. And therefore, he said that at least 33% seat should be nominated by the Governor General. And that's why this movement was also accepted. This movement that Sir Syed Ahmad Khan moved was accepted. And on the basis of that only, you'll find there were many, many people from the different communities. They were given representation in the local self-government. So, there are many great scholars, of course, who have done very good work. They say that Sir Syed Ahmad Khan's, politics was not the cup of tea of Sir Syed Ahmad Khan. So from this particular speech that you see in the Legislative Council, or also you can find there are many other places where Sir Syed Ahmad Khan established 3 political organizations. So we can say that it is wrong to say that Sir Syed Ahmad Khan wanted only educational development of the Muslim community, and he was not interested in the political empowerment and all. Many Aligharians have done this, and many Aligharians are doing this, and they, I also see on the occasion of Sir Syed Day, on many other occasions, the people are saying that you should stay away from all the political activities, and you should concentrate on education. I will, if you ask question, then what is the idea of university? What what the space, this space demands, that we can discuss later on. But now you see, today, quickly, I'm trying to wrap up. So today, what is happening? That there are many challenges at the international level as well as at the national level. If you see the Ali community that is also there in the different parts of the world, almost in every nook and corner of the world, you will find Aligs are there. So that is why, first of all, we have to identify certain challenges that Muslim community as a whole is facing, and at the international level. For example, one of the great challenges that the Muslims all over the world are facing is Islamophobia. Who is to be blamed for Islamophobia, whether the community itself or the imperialist forces or other forces? That is something very much debatable. But there is no doubt in it that, because of Islamophobia, what is happening that the Muslims are facing a lot of hostility in the different parts of the world. A community that has been a prosperous community, especially the professional, those who have migrated from India and other Indian subcontinent, they have been doing very well. But because of that, because of Islamophobia, now they are facing challenges. So when we are trying to revisit Sir Syed Ahmad Khan ideas and his vision, what we can find that Islamophobia is something that should be addressed. And it can be addressed in the light of the teachings of Sir Syed Ahmad Khan. The same kind of situation was there after the revolt of 1857 in India. When this was happening, means British government, was treating Muslims as conspirators. It was treating Muslims as enemy, and they were very much, there were many people in the British administration who believed that the Islam and Christianity itself is incompatible. They were thinking, that Muslims and Christian, they cannot live together. And this was the reason that you'll find that the repression or the suppression that was there in the wake of the revolt of 1857 against the Muslim community, that was very much visible, which has been highlighted by historians and other scholars. At that time, Sir Syed Ahmad Khan tried to write a very positive kind of commentary of Bible. And that was, I will say that it was the beginning of the strategic writing among the Muslims. Muslims were not, into strategic writing. So that way, that particular commentary that Sir Syed Ahmad Khan tried to write was basically for developing interfaith understanding with the Christian community. And he came up with the idea of Ahle Kitab, that the Muslims, Christians, and the Jews, they are from the revealed religion. They are the people of the books. And that's why it is wrong to say that, the interest or their religious faith is incompatible, so they cannot live in peace. So that's why he tried to, develop good relations with the Christian community or with other communities. So that is one thing. At the national level, what he said, he said that the Hindus and Muslims are two beautiful eyes of a beautiful bride. That is again very interesting. You see his own personal friendship with Raja Jaikishan Das and many other social reformers at that time. That should be also taken into account. So on the one hand, he was trying to develop good relations with the Hindu community within India. And at the international level, he wanted to have interfaith understanding with the Christians and with Jews. What is happening today that you'll find that the hostility that Muslims are facing all over the world, not only I'm talking about the Indian Muslims from any part of the world, what kind of hostility they are facing. So in the light of the teachings of Sir Syed Ahmad Khan and his efforts, the Islamophobia can be also countered with this kind of vision that, for example, how he tried to interpret Bible, that we have to see. On the other hand, what is happening that you'll find that it seems that the foreign policies of most of the countries are being guided by the clash of civilization thesis of Huntington. Samuel P. Huntington, in his book, The Clash of Civilizations and the Remaking of the World Order, he preaches that there can be no true friends without true enemies. He also quotes from a novel, that Dead Lagoon in the Clash of Civilizations, that you cannot love what you are unless you hate what you are not. And remember that Samuel P. Huntington was not a harmless, professor of political science like us. He was a political and security advisor to White House. And therefore, when he is preaching that there can be no true friends without true enemies, and he said that after the Cold War, the ideological conflict is over, but the most of the conflicts are going to be in the world on the basis of civilizations. And he also tried to identify the fault lines of civilization, and he found that the fault lines, they lie basically between Islam and the West. So it means what has been projected that the Western values are in direct conflict with the Islamic values. Now the Sir Syed Ahmad Khan vision, his own project of liberal Islam, rational Islam that he brought in, that has become relevant today to address the issue of Islamophobia. So when we are trying to revisit Sir Syed Ahmad Khan's vision, first of all, I will think, I will try to suggest that Algerians all over the world, they can take initiative to develop good relations with other communities, especially with the Christians or with the Jews, and also, what we say that the Western liberal ideologues. There is one problem, and the first, the problem is that the interfaith understanding or the interfaith dialogue that have been initiated by Aligarh, also you'll find that there is already a center of Dara Shikoh Center of Interfaith Dialogue in Aligarh. And there are many people in the different parts of the world those who are trying to promote interfaith dialogue. So here you'll find that the dialogue is mainly between the religious leaders. That the religious leaders from the Muslim community, means ulama, and then the Christian priestly or the clergy class, and similarly the case with the Hindus or with the Jews and other communities. This much is not enough. This should go on. There is no doubt in it. Just to find how, what are the commonalities between the religion. But the main problem lies in the West with the liberal values, and on the other hand, a very orthodox, conservative brand of people, those who try to emphasize certain things, they are in conflict with the liberal values. So the dialogue is needed not only with the religious leaders, but the dialogue is also needed with the, the politicians, the policymakers, the political leaders, just to make them understand that what are the fundamentals of Islam that the Muslims will never compromise with. At the same time, trying to persuade Muslims to know or to understand the liberal values if they are living in the Western countries. You cannot be critical of all the things that are Western in nature. I have seen people, while visiting to various Western countries, I have seen people living over there, a country which is hosting, many Muslims, those who have also taken asylum. Not only that, they have gone for jobs. There are many people who have taken asylum in these countries, and these countries should be saluted. That these people were exploited or they were facing all kind of threats in their own countries, but they have migrated to these countries, that these countries are hosting them. And they try to criticize the native people, their own values, their own culture, their own tradition. So that's why the Muslims have to also realize the cultural differences or the distinctiveness of the people that they have in the different parts of the world. So it means that if the liberal values, if you see Western liberalism that is based on freedom of expression and thought or freedom of conscience, but reasonable restrictions have been imposed on the freedom of expression in these countries also. So that's why the question of, you see, criticizing many Muslim figures, especially the figures that are highly revered. Sometimes you'll also find that the act of blasphemy, many people say that condemning Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, this kind of thing. So what happened that the Muslims are not ready to accept it. So how to bridge the gap between them? On the one hand, you will find extreme form of freedom of expression. On the other hand, the Muslims who are ready to fight with the people or going for violent kind of acts. What Sir Syed Ahmad Khan did. At that time also, you'll find similar kind of challenges were there. Islamophobia or the hatred against Muslims or the fear of the Muslims that were there, in the minds of our colonial masters. At the same time, you'll find William merely wrote a book, and that was the life of Muhammad, and that was of course blasphemous in the present sense of the term. But Sir Syed Khan did not say that he should be killed. Rather, he went to England and he wrote a very good rebuttal to that particular book. And he was able to convince, William Moore, whatever he had written that was wrong. So it means that today, when you will find violent kind of activism you are seeing in the different parts of the world, sometimes from the Muslim side also, at the same time, stretching the freedom of expression to such an extent that it is going to hurt the sentiments of people all over the world. So that's why how do we strike a balance, a delicate balance between the freedom of expression? At the same time, you'll find that the reasonable restriction that can be accepted on those freedom of expression so that the peace and harmony can be maintained. So that's why we can engage political leaders, policymakers, the political ideologues, also not only with the faith leaders, but the political ideologues as well, in what we call interfaith understanding, and also understanding with the Muslim community as well as with the Western liberal values. Number two, you will find that the second important thing what the Aligs can do, those who have already passed out from Aligarh Muslim University, or those who have acquired education, and those who are doing very good, and they are in the different parts of the world. You see that the Aligarh movement has inspired many people in India to establish many colleges and schools. And in India, you will find, especially before partition, many schools and colleges were established. Even today, you'll find in the post-independence India as well. For example, you have Integral University, you have Jamia Hamdard University, many other universities and colleges that the Muslims have established. But there is one problem today when we see that many guardians are coming at the time of admission to Aligarh. And they say that if my daughter is not getting admission in Aligarh, it means that we will not allow her to study anywhere else. Because, we feel that, our daughters are safe in Aligarh. So today, one thing can be done by the Aligs, those who have passed out, and that is we must have a project of a women university with hostel facility, a residential women university somewhere in India. Because, the Aligarh Muslim University or women's colleges, if you see the space, that is not enough to accommodate all the aspirants. So therefore, we can have what we call a women university project. In next 10 or 20 years, this dream can be realized. At the time of Sir Syed Ahmad Khan, you will find the main focus of education was not related with the education of the girls. Later on, Papa Mia and others should be given credit for this. But today you will find that the girls are doing better in comparison to boys, but they are not getting this kind of spaces. So you will find that the dropouts among the girls is higher because of this kind of problem. So therefore, one thing can be done, and it is not a big task. It is not that you have to generate resources from your own pocket. If a land is purchased and we get FCRA, that is, Foreign Contribution Regulation Act, if we get the permission from the government of India, it is very easy. We can mobilize funds from the different parts of the world. We can also, go to the, the Sharenams and the people, those who matter. And I think generating fund or, crowdfunding is not very difficult. And that's why one project that is needed, and I propose this, that we can talk about this and we can build a movement for a Muslim women university. Of course, on the pattern of Aligarh Muslim University. Another very important thing that you will find, Sir Syed Ahmad Khan, as a public intellectual, He was the master of mass contact program. If you see the Aligarh movement when he was launching, or when he was trying to build MAO college, he interacted with the community. He went to the different parts of the country and tried to mobilize fund for the MAO college. His speeches that he delivered, for example, in Meerut or in Lahore or in other parts of the country that you can see, all the speeches, and how he was trying to interact with the community, how he was trying to show them mirror that what is their position, all these things. So he was what we say that he was the master of the personal contact program or the mass contact program that is missing from the Aligarhians today. What is happening that the Aligarh Muslim University has lost its connect with the community at large. I don't know who is to be blamed. We need introspection. I can say that the teachers or the students or the institutions that are not there, who were there for having, connection with the community that we don't have today. But keep in mind that the Aligarh Muslim University Act 1981, it has given a special responsibility to AMU, and that is cultural and educational advancement of Muslims of India. This is the mandate of the Parliament of India, one of the responsibilities imposed on Aligarh Muslim University. So therefore, what we have been doing, for example, for the cultural and educational advancement of Muslims of India, it needs introspection. You see that today, there is a lot of discussion about alternative medicine. Not only the Western medicine, but the alternative medicine. In India also, there is a project of Piyush and Ayush and all kind of project where you'll find that the Unani and the Ayurved, they are getting together. But you see this Unani medicine, it originated from where? From the Arabian countries. And you'll find that this Unani medicine is not recognized over there, or at least we can say it is not a flourishing kind of medicine. Most of the people are relying on Western medicine. So the Unani medicine is something that is part of alternative medicine that people are looking for, Ayurveda and the Unani medicine. Aligarh Muslim University, there are many people who have passed out from Aligarh Muslim University, Ajmal Khan Tibbiya College. There are many products of Aligarh Muslim University, Tibbiya College. They are in high demand. So can we do something to have, a kind of Unani University or Unani college in some Arab countries or the Gulf countries? Can Algerians do something in this regard that they can encourage the people over there that there are people who are looking for alternative medicine, and the Unani medicine is something that should be taught, and we should also have research in the field of Unani medicine. I think that will also fetch a lot of jobs to the people at the same time. It will be a significant contribution to the health of the people as well. Another important thing that you see, the Aligarh movement was, of course, for the Indian subcontinent at that time. But if you see the impact of the Aligarh movement, Sir Hamilton Gibbs says that the MAO College is the first modernist Islamic institution in the world. It is the first modernist Islamic institution in the world. So if it is the first modernist Islamic institution in the world, then where is the global presence of this movement? So therefore, you see the globalization or the universalization of Aligarh movement, at least in the Muslim countries, that is something that is needed. So the Algerians who are there in the countries where they can do something for establishing overseas universities or colleges or some branches, for example, engineering colleges or medical colleges, with the help of the government of India, and of course, we are as a branch of the Aligarh Muslim University, whatever mechanism that we can have, So that will be something by which we can globalize, this Aligarh movement in this age of globalization. Besides that, you see that there is no doubt in it that there are many problems with our own institution, that the institutions that are part and parcel of the act of Aligarh Muslim University, they are not working here. A senior was rightly talking about that you don't have any system of assessment of the teachers, and if you get a bad teacher or if you get bad teachers, you have to be with them for 30-35 years, and that cannot be tolerated because this is there all over the world. You will find that the teachers are assessed. So hire and fire, whatever that is there in, especially in the corporate sector. In India, for example, you see, I will not enter into that debate because of course I am from political science background, but I don't want to enter into that debate that whether the job that is provided by the government of India or by the state governments, they have a different kind of nature, and that's why it is said it is job security that is there always in the governmental jobs. You will not find that kind of security, in the private jobs. That kind of debate is already there. So privatization versus public sector. I don't want to enter into that debate. And of course, but that is something a very interesting topic, and you will find all the educational spaces from all over the world, you will find this kind of debates, this kind of churning, this kind of deliberations on these issues are there. That how to appoint teacher, what should be the job security, or how to have employees in other sectors as well. So I think that corporatization of educational spaces is something that must be discouraged. Educational spaces are different. And the social Darwinism that is there in the corporate sector cannot be there in the educational spaces. And so that is one thing, but we can have a debate on it. Besides that, the passed out who are, for example, if you go to India, and especially in the Muslim localities, you will find many Algerians in all the districts where Muslims are in good number. And in most of the cases, these people are highly respected people because they are educated people. The educational standard of Muslim is not very good. So therefore, these are the respected people. Why these Algerians are criticized? Because our community has a lot of expectation from them. But they say that we see these Algerians coming together only on 17th October. Every year they celebrate Sir Syed Day, and they come for a dinner. And after dinner, there will be some kind of shairi, mushaira, etc., some speeches, and after that, they will go away. This is the only thing. And next year, again, you will see them on 17th October. Every day, you see the community is facing many, many challenges. Country is facing many challenges. You will find that these people are conspicuously missing. So if they are conspicuous by their, absence on the occasions when community needs their help, their intervention, their assistance, that is something that we should introspect. So there are many districts where you'll find that the residential schools are not there for the girls or the boys. And therefore, the people, those who are coming from downtrodden section where they don't have very good facilities at home, and there are boys and girls who are very intelligent, they can do very well, but because of the lack of facility, they are not able to do this. So cannot these people mobilize funds every year? For example, the alumni or the old boys association of the different districts or the states, they come together and they decide that in we will have one residential school every year, and all of these people they can collect fund for this. So I think institution building is one thing that the Algerians must do, because if you don't build institutions, then again you'll find that these days, because of the neoliberal policies, the government is also withdrawing its services. There is a lot of cutbacks. There is a lot of, you'll find, withdrawal of public expenditure. That is, of course, under tremendous pressure from the Trinity, that is World Bank, International Monetary Fund, and World Trade Organization. That is happening. So ultimately, it means government is also encouraging that you have to have your own institutions. So if the government is also ready to encourage, then the Algerians can have some kind of plan for establishing at least one residential school every year in one of the districts of the country. The thing is that if you're having this kind of spaces where the girls and the boys, they are also having some kind of connect with their culture, with their civilization, with their tradition, I think these colleges and schools will of course attract a lot of people to a lot of people. And because of that, you can run these schools. You can have a very good planning with the people, those who are in the corporates, that it will not only be a school, but you can have also commercial complex near these schools and colleges, and it will be a profitable venture for the community and all the people, those who are associated with it. When I was mentioning community, keep in mind that why I'm mentioning this about the Muslim community. You have already you must be knowing about the Sachar Committee report, Gopal Singh Committee report, many other studies that have been conducted. And they have already highlighted the educational and other kind of backwardness of the Muslim community. So therefore, if you are having any kind of residential schools, college or degree colleges on the pattern of Aligarh, of course, it will, the doors will be open for all the communities, as has been the case in the Aligarh Muslim University right from the days of MAO College. So it will not be a communal project. Rather, you will find this kind of project will get encouragement from the government and from the people, those who want that a community which is downtrodden, a community which is backward educationally, economically, which is politically marginalized, socially excluded, and facing many challenges, if it is trying to stand up, I think the people will support it, and it will be a very good exercise, of course, a very good venture as well. So it means that the Algerians who are criticized for getting together on the 17th day and 17th October, celebrating Sir Syed Day, eating and then going away, doing nothing, I think this kind of criticism will not be there. Lastly, I will say that, you see, we are living in the largest democracy of the world. India is the largest electoral democracy. Therefore, those who are very successful people in the field of education, or those who have done management or engineering or doctors in the different uh, parts of the country as well as all over the world, those who have been doing very good, or the intellectuals who are coming to Aligarh, I will request that Sir Syed Ahmad Khan should not be invoked for discouraging students and teachers or Aligarh fraternity or Muslim community as a whole to stay away from the political process or the politics of the country. If you are living in a democracy, keep in mind that solution to all problems in a democracy is political in nature. It is never legal. It is never, the legal problem may be there. It may be through court, but most of the problems are solved through politics. So therefore, it is rightly said that wherever you are, you may not be interested in politics, but politics is interested in you. So therefore, asking our own community or the student and teacher to stay away from politics is something that is, I will say, a cardinal sin that should not be committed by all of us. At least Sir Syed should not be misinterpreted. A man who established 3 political organizations, a man who wrote, in defense of Urdu, a man who also, wrote many political writings, means strategic writings like Asbab-e Bagawat-e-Hind. You see, it was also a classic example of strategic writing, or his commentary on Bible, or if you see the Loyal Mohammedan of India, or all the organizations that he established, his own opposition to Jamaluddin Afghani, or his opposition to Indian National Congress, all these are the political acts. And therefore, Sir Syed Ahmad Khan should not be misinterpreted. Of course, he wanted that the Muslims should avoid what he thought was the politics of confrontation. Because at that time, during the colonial days, it was very dangerous. And Sir Syed Ahmad Khan had already seen the wrath of the British government in the wake of the revolt of 1857. And that's why he wanted that the Muslims should stay away from the politics of confrontation. but he himself, went for what is called the politics of accommodation and adjustment. So therefore, you see that Sir Syed Ahmad Khan, when we are trying to revisit Sir Syed Ahmad Khan vision, we should try to have a holistic perspective. It is very easy and it is quite comfortable to say that we should stay away from the politics, because politics always creates adversary. And Sir Syed Ahmad Khan, when he was interpreted by Allama Iqbal, you all should read, means all the students should read Sayyid Ke Lohe Turbat, written by Allama Iqbal, in which he said, Bande मोमिन का दिल बीमो रया से पाक है, कुव्वते फरमा रवा के सामने बेबाक है. बंदे मोमिन का दिल बीमो रया से पाक है, कुव्वते फरमा रवा के सामने बेबाक है. It means today you need people to speak up. You need people who are trying to defend the community when baseless charges are being leveled against them. Sometimes you'll find the community is facing economic boycott. Sometimes, the community is facing what is called a different kind of crisis, that is criminalization of all the practices of the community. So in this kind of situation, you need people to speak out. And therefore, the political empowerment or the political empowerment or the what we say to confront whatever planning is there by the non-state actors to socially exclude Muslim community, that should be also our concern. And of course, the Constitution of India has provided you all kind of spaces. Democracy also calls for participation of all the people in the decision-making process. So I think these issues should be also taken up by all of us. With this, I'm trying to wind up. And I will encourage if students are asking questions or if we have any kind of observation or discussion. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for this enlightening session, and I believe it will inspire many. Also, the idea of a women-centered university within sacred space is really spectacular, and should be above this. And this now I open the floor to question answer. So if you do a session or have that related topic, feel free to raise your hand or just put it in the silent space.
Hello. Hello. Am I
जी फरमाएं.
am I audible? Ji.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
you are
I am
audible.
Shoaib from Lucknow, and I am heading the MU Worldwide Association of Lucknow right now. Instead of asking any question, I would like to put a point before you and all the audience that we have started construction of Sir Syed Mission School here in Lucknow. It's on the land donated by a very senior alligator and a renowned surgeon of Lucknow, Dr. Mubashir. This is just for the information of you, Dr. Saab, and all the audience. I would like to add one thing, that the support of each and every person is required, each and every Alig and each and every lover of Sir Syed. So this much I had to say.
Great. Great to know, sir.
Thank you. Jazakallah.
Any more
हिंदुस्तानी में भी
query?
सवाल कर सकते हैं, जो लोग चाहें उर्दू में भी सवाल कर सकते हैं.
And next
कोई
time
नहीं
I am planning to visit Aligarh, Dr. Saab. I will be very happy if I get some time from you.
मोस्ट
And
वेलकम सर, मोस्ट
I'll
वेलकम। आप मुझे
contact you
इन्फॉर्म कर
on
दीजिए।
22nd. If you are in Aligarh on 22nd, I'll try to contact you.
श्योर श्योर, मोस्ट वेलकम, मैं रहूंगा सर इंशाल्लाह।
ठीक।
Any more query?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
Practical steps that an individual could take to carry forward the as a student and as a
Khatija, your voice is not audible.
मेरे ख्याल से शकील साहब का कोई सवाल था। शकील साहब बहुत सीनियर एलिगेरियन है, अगर मैं सही पहचान रहा हूँ तो लखनऊ से। शकील साहब का कोई सवाल था, चैट बॉक्स में होगा मेरे ख्याल से।
Okay, sir. I will read out. What quality should Aligs embody to inspire others?
May I speak, sir?
It's
वो तो
Aslam, sir.
जी
I am
जी
not a
जी।
senior, sir. I am a student of diploma engineering, sir.
ओके, मैं समझ रहा था
I am
शकील साहब जो
uh,
ओल्ड एसोसिएशन के कुछ हैं लखनऊ से।
actually I am from Jamalpur, sir. Aligarh, Jamalpur.
ओके
जी, वो फॉर्मर प्रेसिडेंट थे प्रोफेसर शकील कदवाई साहब।
जी 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 जी
एबी ओल्ड बाय एसोसिएशन के, शायद आप उन्हीं को समझ रहे होंगे।
जी जी जी, मैं उन्हीं को ही समझ रहा था। चलिए चलिए, आपका सवाल बहुत ही अहम है। बहरहाल यू नो देखिए, जो क्वालिटीज अलीगेरियंस की बताई जाती हैं और जिन लोगों ने लिखा है, मैं कहीं भी जाता हूँ, मैं सबसे पहले ये कहता हूँ कि आप मुझे देख करके अलीगढ़ को जज ना करें। शायद मैं अलीगढ़ का ट्रू रिप्रेजेंटेटिव नहीं हूँ, क्योंकि मैं जो अपने से पुरानी जनरेशन के लोग देखता हूँ, यानी हम लोग 1980s 90s वाले जो लोग हैं, वो जब 70s वालों को देखते हैं तो उनको लगता है कि वो हमसे ज़्यादा अच्छे अलीगेरियन थे। जिनका पहनने ओढ़ने का तरीका, नशिस्त व बर्खास्त का तरीका, उनकी अपनी ज़बान, वो हमसे बेहतर है। और मेरे ख्याल से रशीद अहमद सिद्दीकी ने जो अलीगेरियंस के सिलसिले में फरमाया, वो अपने आप में सबसे अहम है। जो उन्होंने कहा कि जब मैं किसी पब्लिक प्लेस पे किसी खुशलिबास, खुशगिफ्तार और बहुत ही बाअदब इंसान को देखता हूँ तो मुझे ये गुमान होता है कि उसका ताल्लुक अलीगढ़ से हो। अक्सर मेरा गुमान सही साबित होता है कि उसका बराह रास्त ताल्लुक अलीगढ़ से होता है, या उसके मोहल्ले में, उसके ख़ानदान में, उसके रिश्तेदारी में किसी ने अलीगढ़ से पढ़ा हो, जिसको देख के उसने बहुत कुछ सीखा होता है। और कहते हैं कि अगर उसके अंदर ये तमाम खूबियां हों कि खुशगुफ्तार भी हो, खुश लिबास भी हो, बाअदब भी हो, और वो अगर अलीगढ़ में ना पढ़ा हो, तो मुझे उसके ऊपर बहुत अफसोस होता है कि काश वो अलीगढ़ आता या अलीगढ़ जाता तो उसके अंदर और कितना निखार आता। तो रशीद अहमद सिद्दीकी इस तरह से अलीगढ़ को देखते हैं। हम अपनी ज़बान, अपना लहजा, अपना लिबास, जो जिसको देख करके पुराने अलीगेरियंस आते हैं तो शिकायत अक्सर करते हैं, या बेचारे बहुत अफसोस का इजहार करते हैं कि हॉस्टल की वो तहजीब नहीं रही, अकामती ज़िंदगी वैसी नहीं रही। तो मैं समझता हूँ कि जो भी हमारे पुराने अलीग्स हैं, उनको आपको देख के अंदाज़ा हो जाता है कि उनके मुकाबले में 70s 80s वाले, खास करके जो 60s 70s वाले हैं, जो गोल्डन पीरियड अलीगढ़ का था, मैं समझता हूँ कि वो तमाम खूबियाँ होनी चाहिए। सबसे पहले जो हम एजुकेशन हासिल कर रहे हैं उसमें अच्छे हों, एकेडमिकली हम बहुत अच्छे हों, हम बहुत अच्छे लिबास पहने और एकेडमिकली ज़ीरो हों, बहुत ही हॉलो, बहुत ही शैलो हों, तो उसकी कोई अहमियत नहीं होती। तो अल्टीमेटली मैं ये समझता हूँ कि जो भी कोर्स हम कर रहे हैं, उसमें जो आप कोर्स कर रहे हैं उसको बहुत अच्छे से करें। वो उसकी बहुत अच्छी अंडरस्टैंडिंग आपको होनी चाहिए, आपको एक्सेल करना चाहिए, और साथ ही साथ जो पर्सनालिटी डेवलपमेंट जो अलीगढ़ में नेचुरल है। और मैं हमेशा ये कहता हूँ कि आप अ, पहले दिन जब अलीगढ़ में आते हैं तो पर्सनल फाइल में एक तस्वीर लगाते हैं, उस तस्वीर को देखिए, और 4-5 साल बाद जब आप अलीगढ़ में रह जाते हैं फिर उस तस्वीर को देखिए, तो आपको पता चल जाएगा कि अलीगढ़ क्या तब्दीलियाँ हमारे और आपके अंदर लाता है। तो मैं ये समझता हूँ कि ये तमाम खूबियाँ होनी चाहिए, और साथ ही साथ दर्द होना चाहिए मिल्लत का, अगर आप अलीगढ़ से ताल्लुक़ रखते हैं तो, इसलिए कि ये मिल्लत का अजीम सरमाया है जिसे बड़ी मुश्किल से बनाया गया।
सर मेरा सवाल यहाँ से एक और पैदा होता है सर, मैं डिफरेंस क्यों आ जाता है सर? कि मतलब कि जैसे अगर मैं आपने कहा था कि जो 19s की अब जो देखते हैं तो थोड़ा अफसोस होता है और वो तहजीब नहीं रही, वो क्या डिफरेंस रह गया सर हम?
देखिए
सीनियर
इसमें
की सीनियर की
सादगी अपनों की और
कहाँ पर
प्राइवेसी
कमी आ गई
एंजाइटी
सर?
उसमें बहुत सारी चीजें हैं। एग्जैक्टली देखिए अलीगढ़ में जो चीजें हुई, वो एक जजमेंट आया सुप्रीम कोर्ट का कि जिसके तहत रैगिंग को क्रिमिनलाइज किया गया। तो रैगिंग तो अलीगढ़ में नहीं होती थी, वो इंट्रोडक्शन वगैरह होता था जिसके जरिए कुछ चीजें इनकलकेट की जाती थी। एक सीनियर का इंस्टीट्यूशन था पूरा, सीनियरिटी यहाँ पे इंस्टीट्यूशन हुआ करती थी जिनसे हम लोग बहुत कुछ सीखते थे। क्लासरूम जो एक फॉर्मल स्पेस होता है, उस फॉर्मल स्पेस में आपको कपड़े क्या पहनने हैं, कैसे आना है, कैसे जाना है, कैसे बोलना है, ये सब वो चीजें नहीं सिखाई जाती। ये तो हॉस्टल में या बाकी स्पेसेस में जो ट्रेनिंग होती थी, यानी सीना बसीना चीजें चली आती थी, वो इंस्टीट्यूशन खत्म हो गए। फिर जो ये सोशल डार्विनिज्म का पूरा एक जमाना है जिसमें सर्वाइवल ऑफ द फिटेस्ट की दौड़ में हम हैं, एक कॉम्पिटिटिव वर्ल्ड है, उसके बहुत सारे तकाजे हैं। फिर इस पूरे जो बैन अवी सतह पे या नेशनल लेवल पे, वट एवर द पोलिटिकल सिनेरियो दैट यू आर सेइंग seeing, or other issues that you are encountering with. So there are a lot of factors that are responsible, because of which you can say that today's Algerians, uh, they are not what the Algerians were there in 1960s or 70s. So that for example, if you talk to any of the Algerian who has been from 1960s, 70s, they are very good. Their communication skill, their style of dress up and everything, they are better than us. So मुझे ये लगता है कि many factors that we should introspect, and there are many things that cannot be revived. आपके स्टूडेंट्स यूनियन का इलेक्शन जिस तरह का हुआ करता था और अब जिस तरह का होता है, जिस तरह की लीडरशिप आती थी अब जिस तरह की आती है, जिस तरह के लिबास है, अ, या जबान है, अलीगढ़ की अपनी खास जबान, अपनी डिक्शनरी है। एवरीथिंग इज, आई थिंक, गोइंग अवे। दैट डिक्लाइन इज देयर, बट देयर आर सर्टेन थिंग्स दैट कैन नॉट बी स्टॉप्ड, but still Aligarh is better in comparison to many other institutions, I will say, so far as culture, traditions are concerned. So ultimately, we should try to keep intact what has been best in Aligarh, but also we should be ready to accept the changes that are already taking place around us.
Any more doubt? Thank you, sir. Due to some connectivity issue with Khadija, so I will be proceeding this session. Before concluding, I will invite Naba Zedi for presenting the vote of thanks. Naba, over you. Naba,
Since I got late, so that is why I was on a bit hurry to wind it up as soon as possible. I think
okay, sir.
so that. Uh, so thank you very much. I think.
I extend my heartfelt gratitude to our esteemed guest speaker, Dr. Muhammad Muhibul Haq, for his enlightening and thoughtful provoking session. Your insights into Sir Syed Ahmad Khan's vision of its vision today have led us all inspired and motivated to reflect on our roles as Aligs. A special thanks to the founder of the Alig Residence, Mr. Asfar Ali Khan, for organizing this valuable session. I also thank our enthusiastic participants for making this session interactive and engaging. Your presence and thoughtful contribution added great value to this event. I encourage all participants to apply the strategies discussed today in their own journeys. Together, let's us strive for excellence and success in the pursuit of our goals. Thank you for all your active participation and enthusiasm. Wishing you the very best in your endeavors. Uh, thank, Thank you. With this, we have come to an end at the insightful session. Thank you for everyone for joining us. Until we meet again, have a good day.
Thank you very much.